Hi guys and welcome back to J2M. My name is Fazal.
And my name is Liddy.
And today's video is going to be about how we got a 9 in our English GCSEs.
Before we start, please remember to like, comment, subscribe and turn on your post notifications.
Okay, so this video is going to be about two parts of English GCSEs, obviously. English language first and English literature.
English language. And I would say that English language for me wasn't really my forte.
No.
So I would say my best advice in English language would be to work on your creative writing as much as you can. So at the time, what me and my friend would do is we'll just write. There was a workbook available that should still be available to you guys now. We'll just write creative text, so we'd have a question and we'd write it out, and then we'd mark each other's papers. Even though we weren't necessarily examiners, we used the mark scheme as kind of like a basis to go off of what an examiner would be looking for.
As Liddy said, creative writing is not my thing, essays are not my thing, so I did really struggle with English at first, and in year 10 I was just like, English is just not my thing, and I was like, I'm just going to accept that I'm not good at it. Obviously that's not the mentality to have. And then in year 11 I realised, oh wait, I actually need to pass both these exams. And I think the one I struggled with most was English language, just because I'm not really creative. I can't really write stories about, like, if they show me a picture of a tree, I can't just think of a creative story around it. So I made an active effort to go to an English teacher that actually wasn't my English teacher, and just to ask for advice, and she really helped me to expand my vocabulary, work on my punctuation and just improve my creative writing skills. And I really recommend that, especially if you're like me, you know that English isn't for you. Don't just accept that and just kind of go with the flow. Go out of your way to make sure you do well in it.
Yeah, and on top of that, I'll also say that be comfortable with writing according to different situations, because you're not always going to be given an opportunity to write about, you know, a train wreck or something. Sometimes you'll be asked to write a letter, a news article, a journal. So really test the waters, try everything out, get your teachers to mark it, so that when the time comes, you've done so much practice that regardless of whatever you get, you're prepared
100%.
to write and get those marks.
Yeah, and with English language there's also the comprehension section, so where you have to read an article or a text and then answer questions based on that. Make sure you do as much practice again, and like Liddy said, not just on stories but on news articles and letters and stuff like that, like 1 or 2 days before the English language exam. Because I'm really bad with like vocabulary, I learned like 30 new words, like big words that I literally just learned on how to describe like characters and stuff, because in creative writing more often than not you have to describe a character. So I learned like 30 words, and then I made sure I used all of them during the exam, and that's actually how I know I got the top grade, because I wouldn't have been able to do it otherwise. So small things like that just to improve your grade can be really useful.
Yeah, I did the same, but for English literature. Well, even though it was applicable for both, I mainly did it for English literature. In order to describe certain characters I had to learn about, I decided to expand my vocabulary, and I literally downloaded an app just to do this. Like, not everyone, you know, has amazing vocabulary, and you know what? If you don't, then it is what it is. Just expand it. It's nothing. It's not that deep. Just expand your vocabulary. Like, download an app.
You know, I started off by saying I was going to read the whole thesaurus.
Oh.
I thought I was going to read the whole thesaurus. Moving on to literature. So literature was, I guess, a bit easier in the terms that you just have to like make sure you read the books and the stories and know the poems and stuff, but it's actually a lot easier said than done. And just like I didn't like writing essays, I don't like reading either. So we would read the books and texts in lesson, but I don't think I've actually ever read like the whole of Macbeth. I just watched the movie.
That's poor.
And I think I read the whole of Christmas Carol, but again I just watched the movie, and Inspector Calls, just watched the movie, because with movies it's visual, so it just sticks in my head. Like, I can kind of remember the character saying a certain thing, and I guess it depends on how you learn, but know what works best for you. And yeah, I would suggest watching the movies as well as alongside reading the books as well, because it's going to help you become more familiar with the plot, and that's going to make it easier in the exam.
With me, it wasn't just literature. Like, hands down, I absolutely loved English literature. It wasn't just a text to me or a film to me. It was an opportunity to enter the author's head and actually understand. No, it was to actually understand what is he trying to get across, what is he trying to tell society at that time. That's one of the reasons I love Inspector Calls, because it's not just a movie about a sad, you know, poor girl. No, it's a message to society that is not just applicable to that time, but is applicable to even today's society. That's why I absolutely love literature, because there was a deeper message underneath everything. And my passion for literature is what got me the 9. I absolutely loved it. What I would suggest for literature is, guys, don't learn every quote, every line
and
you're allowed to paraphrase
text as well.
Yeah, you can paraphrase, and in addition to that, learn things that are applicable to more than one theme. So what I would do is, because I have other subjects to do, like I couldn't just focus on English literature. So what I did was I would learn one quote that was applicable to anger and jealousy and bitterness, so that regardless of whatever essay question I got, if it was about bitterness, I would use that same quote. If it was about anger, if it was about hatred, I will use the same quote again and again. I'm not saying I just learned one quote. That's just an example to show you where you can learn one quote for multiple themes and have roughly 4 quotes per theme that you can just throw in when needed. Because if you do too much, it means that you will have less time to look at things like content, look at things like what does the reader want to get across, the author want to get across. Also have a really good structure. People don't just stick to PEE. You don't want to do that. I want essays that will be half a page or longer. That's how you will get the marks, because you don't just need to understand point, evidence, example, explain. No, what you need to do is, you need to link. You need to go take a step further and be like, what the author was trying to get across is. So that's not just explanation, but you're almost applying it to society. Don't limit it to PEE. Have that structure. Link things in your essays. What you're doing is you're telling a story through your essay. So make sure it's going in that good order. You need to have a plan. Before you start anything, have a plan about what you want to mention in your introduction, your main bodies, as well as your conclusion. Yeah, honestly, literature is more than that. Try your best to enjoy it. I loved Christmas Carol. When you like something, it's way easier to learn it. I watched the films so many times before the exam, which I'll strongly suggest to you, because it's so interesting. Spectacles and Christmas Carol was so interesting.
Christmas Carol was really good.
Yeah, with the on-theme poetry, I did the same thing. Found quotes that are applicable to more than one theme. The CGP workbooks, revision guides are so good. I would strongly suggest purchasing them. And I wouldn't have been able to get a 9 without them. They were so useful. And yeah, that's what I suggest for English literature.
As you can see, she's very passionate about English literature. I'm not that passionate. Again, for me, it was just like another subject I just had to like pass and like do well in. So my approach was, first of all, becoming familiar with the books and the poems as well. And then after that, again, practice. As soon as you find an essay that you've done really well and your teacher's like, this is amazing, stick to it. Look at where you went well, and just try and pick stuff from there that you can use in your actual exam. Look for good examples, look through other people's papers. Like English, even if you find it hard, like it's not that hard to get a good grade if you put in a lot of work.
Definitely.
And with unseen poetry, that is a bit harder. However, I think, again, there are lots of different poems that link. So make sure, even if you can't go through all of the poems, make sure you can go through some of them. And then hopefully you'll be able to link it somehow in the real exam.
There's a deeper meaning behind everything. Don't just read a text as a text. Go online, find different interpretations, because you as a person, you need to have your own interpretation of something. Hazard's interpretation on a poem might not be the same as mine. So have hence why it's so important to do your own unique revision, your own unique research, because what examiners are looking for is someone that has actually thought about it and has put their own perspective into their essay. Because at the end of the day, essay writing is subjective, which is something that makes it a bit difficult. However, examiners follow a strict mark scheme, and in addition to that, they're also looking for a unique perspective. You want to stand out, you know, over like everybody else doing the same paper as you. So really try to have a unique perspective and stuff.
Showing the examiner that you can think from 3 different perspectives is so powerful. And they're like, wow, this student can really put themselves in 3 different shoes and see what this character is doing. And that's why it's so important to talk about the characters with other people, see what other people think, and be like, oh, that's so interesting, but I think this is that. But yeah, English wasn't my best subject, but
We got
ended up
there
going
then.
well because, you know, just the hard work, I guess, and the change of mentality from, oh, I can't do this, I'm just going to accept it, to then, oh wow, wait, I really do need to do well in this, let me put in the effort. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them down below. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and also follow us on Instagram. But yeah, anything else?
No, that's about it.
Okay, see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.